Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to some more portfolio build streaming. Now, we've been on a little hiatus the last 2 weeks, so thank you for bearing with me here. And let's get back to it and kind of review where we left off and kind of what the project's all about. So I am building my personal portfolio, and up to this point, we've done a lot of work. As we can see in our done column here, we went through a lot of our sort of pre-work, sort of our pseudo discovery here and definition. Did some design, so we did some wireframing, and then worked up to higher fidelity. Didn't have to do any user testing, although that would be interesting for your own portfolios, but we'd skip that for now. Because I don't know, the best way to user test a personal portfolio is kind of your expression of yourself. So I guess you could test it with hiring managers, or you could kind of do tests to see how effective it is at landing you a job. So that would kind of be a good, interesting sort of test. Anywho, last week we started doing some, or not last week, a couple weeks ago, we started doing our development. We did a project setup. We cleaned up some of the default authentication stuff. We finished all of our models. We TDD'd our API. I'm saying API. It's all technically our endpoints because it's an internal app. Kind of the API, though. And then we did an add user command. And then last week, I think we just started working on this admin front end for ourselves. And let's see here. And just so we kind of go through the design, this is kind of what we're working on today. This is sort of our pseudo backend. Nothing too crazy. So we're kind of working on this post section. Images, we designed the images this way, but I've been thinking through the design or like the actual like implementation details. We might do this, we might not. We got rid of this like activity feed because we changed like this contact info to just be more of like an email. So I just get an email. So we're not necessarily making this like a CRM or anything like that. That was kind of our initial thought. This is what the portfolio is going to be looking like. We still got some placeholder images in here. This is going to be a cool SVG sort of illustration here that I was thinking about. I think I might do like a unicorn on a cliff and then like animate the wind blowing in the background. So that'll be some sort of cool animation. Projects, obviously we've got some lore with them in here. My experience, and then this again will also, I'm kind of thinking of going for like a fantasy theme, which is kind of interesting. I was thinking maybe like of doing, I don't know, so maybe have like a castle here or something. Media, oh, this is interesting. So we called this media earlier, and I was looking at some portfolios the other day, and somebody called this section community, and I really like that. Because I also do meetup talks, and those get recorded, and I was thinking like, how am I going to put this somewhere on my portfolio? And it was like, well, media kind of fits. So I might relabel this to community. I'm actually going to leave a comment. This is Envision, if anyone's curious. I like that. It's a better, I think, a better message overall. Also, like when like how I'm communicating this to prospective like employers, they're like, oh, he's involved in the community. That's kind of a cool thing. So this is, and we'll probably update that copy a little bit as well. Join me on Twitch, which is where we are, which is a nice kind of call to action. So maybe we could do something fun. And I like Twitch is kind of game oriented too. So I think like that fantasy background would be kind of interesting. I'm interested in fantasy. That's kind of one of my favorite things to read and play, environments kind of think about. So I kind of like that. A little bit of personality coming through in the design. We'll see. I'm not a great illustrator though, so we'll see how good I am at communicating that in these images, but we'll come back to that. And then we kind of got a little bit of about me, how to get in touch. And then we've got the bottom here. So this is where that like contact form, where those contacts are coming through in the activity section. Where'd it go? Yeah, we're getting rid of this. And we're getting rid of the activity feed. It's just an idea. We played with it, and then in the implementation, we're going to go a different direction. We got an about page. This is really just more of a way for me to go into a longer dive and deep dive on who I am. Projects, this is kind of the design we're working with here. Just so we're kind of doing this for a couple of reasons. Like, we have projects on the homepage. My current portfolio has like a work section, and so I wanted to keep the SEO for that. And so we're going to have this kind of go to /work or something like that. And it's also kind of nice if somebody is like, give me just your portfolio, give me your projects, I can send them this link. These pages kind of look like a blog post, but I think as we start writing the projects, the case studies, I'm going to tweak this and make I'm going to hard code this. So this is not in the CMS. And I want to be able to do that if I want to design it in a specific way. that was something I ran into with my last portfolio. I had like a lot of cool ideas for how I wanted to present this information, and I was running it off like the CMS, and it was kind of like I don't really have a way to customize this the way I want the visual presentation. So this we're going to hard code, and I think it's going to be interesting. So we'll come back to that. And then the blog, and this is where a lot of my current content is, and we're going to make sure this is looking good. And this is just the Laravel posts, and these are kind of just how they look right now. Thinking about refactoring this section, probably doing more of a horizontal thing than a stack thing, but we can come back to that. Cool. But today we're working on this back end here. We're kind of working from the back to the front, which is it's an approach. You can do it the other way too, but I went this way for whatever reason. Alrighty, and so this is where we are here with our login. I think I gotta go to admin. It's been a second since I've looked at this. Alrighty, and what was our dummy user? Let's go to the code. Let's see here. I'm realizing I didn't actually like commit anything before I left, which is a little dangerous, but here we are. Users table seeder, test example, and this is just password. Okay. Cool. And we kind of started coding out this view. I think we did this like really fast last time, which is nice. And we kind of are pulling a gravatar there, which is, I know I have one of those. Then we got media. We have not developed the profile section, which is fine. And then logout will just log us out. But we did a lot of this already. And we did this with Tailwind, which is pretty cool. All right, so let me go back to, I think this is what we want to look at, the index for posts. Yeah, we've got all of these nice classes in here. A lot of the stuff we're going to extract out to probably your more traditional classes because we're going to reuse a lot of these components. But for right now, we're just kind of prototyping a little bit. And one thing I did want to look at, so in our Tailwind config, all right, that looks like it's on the latest one. I don't know if we're on the latest version of Tailwind because they just released 1.0. Yeah, so we're still on beta. So I'm actually going to go ahead and update that. So let me actually go to the Tailwind docs. I forget what their package name is. I think it's just Tailwind CSS, but you want to be sure with these things. Nice. And they're 1.01. Okay. If you haven't used Tailwind, highly recommend it. I'm a big fan, but we can get into that a little bit later if you all want to. Let's see here. Yeah, it is. Okay. That's what I wanted. I think it's update. I get my yarn and npm commands mixed up all the time. And we actually might have to do an install. It's been a second. It's been a hot minute. Okay, no, that worked for us. Cool. And I think we do npm. This is run dev. See if it blows up. I don't think it will, but you never know. That's why we run these tests. Hey, look at that. And I'll just do like a little visual regression test here. Give this a refresh. Everything's working. Cool. That was a really simple upgrade. But it was easy for us because we started on the beta. If you're going from like the old Tailwind to the new Tailwind, there is actually an upgrade guide, which if you go here, it's pretty comprehensive, I think. Yeah, look at this. They do a really nice job. They're in their documentation. They're kind of up there in my mind with like Vue.js docs. They're really, really good. Awesome. And we were kind of hacking on this a little bit last time. So I think we were doing some of a little bit of a table here. Looks like, because I don't have the line height that I was hoping for. That's always a pain with these little tables. But anyway, let's go ahead and run watch. I think I have a watch alias, but that's another. I know that'll work. Nice. Alrighty here. I don't know why this is not preserving the session. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it doesn't. Yeah, this is not, as we can see, not responsive at all. That's something we're going to think about a little bit more detail. And it looks like there's a difference in padding. I want this bar to go away, but we kind of did the nav a little bit. And look, that might actually be responsive. We just did this really fast last time. Let me pull up my Handy dandy DevTools here, and we'll get to work. Alrighty. So with full, what's the thing you can do? I think it's overflow X, and we do like min width. Be good if I use real things here. I forget how to do this. Let me just try and. Sometimes you have to wrap it in a div, and like I don't really think I need to mobile optimize this in any sort of crazy fancy way, just because it's just me using this. So like we're not really doing a fancy navigation system or anything like that. So I'm just gonna make a scrollable kind of table here. Let's look at this. Mobile table scroll. There we go. Thank you. Overflow auto. Interesting. That's a new one for me. I guess we gotta put this on this guy. That's not the walkthrough I was looking for. Let's see. W3 schools are pretty good. Add a container. Okay, we'll try this. But I thought I did that, right? Maybe it has to be a div. Maybe the section won't do it because it's not a block or something like that. Also, is there any way to do table smoke? Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's super easy. That's why we're gonna go for it, because I don't really want to deal with doing it like a harder way. Like, so like the what I would try and do maybe on something that's like needs to be a little bit more robust is actually like present a different interface on mobile. Go for more of like a card interface as opposed to a mobile interface, because it's or the table interface, but that's like a lot of overhead. So we won't do that. So I think the overflow, I'm gonna look at this button, say auto. Let's grab this guy here. I'm working in VS Code a lot this week, and so this is PHP Storm, and now I'm going back and forth, and it's not the easiest thing in the world to jump back and forth between. So that should work. I don't know why that's not rendering. Oh yeah, it did. That didn't work the way I wanted it to. Overflow, yeah, X auto. So with full. So we do something like that. We're not getting that overflow. We set the width here to like 100%. Alrighty, something's getting a little better. But that's setting the whole page. It's still better in many cases. Yeah, I think it is. I think it's easy. I think it's like when you do like the trade-offs between like developer time and like thinking about it. Yeah, I would agree with you. There are a few nuanced cases where you might want to do it differently, but they're few and far between, thankfully. Oh, probably because I'm doing this on. There we go. That's what was going on. And then I think we might not even need these. Yeah, I was targeting the wrong thing. Okay, great. So I think we do need this. Yeah. I don't know why it's not. Oh, that's why. Why it's not doing this just automatically. I've got rid of with full. interested to see if they've got what they've got on their table here. They literally just have it border collapse, border spacing 0 with 100%. That's just working for him. So we got this border class. You've got all that good stuff going on here. Super frustrating when this stuff happens. We could do this. It's not ideal. Something like that. Let me look at the min widths here. So we'd have to add a property. I thought min width full would work. Let me see if I had. I mean, I'm just trying to. I think we added some min widths, which is why this is here now. Well, that's going to work for us. And we're kind of truncating these titles, which I think is fine here. In fact, we could truncate that even a little bit more. Yeah, let's do that string limit. Okay, so we've got, let's see here. Nice. So that's kind of working for us. At least for now. And honestly, that kind of takes care of the majority of our mobile optimizations, which is great. Basically, all we needed to do. We were talking about adding more data here to these blog posts, and I think the one that I would be most interested in seeing is maybe like tags. Because we got this whole tags system here, but let me go to my existing site. Let's see if we can log in here. Let's see what we got. And even on the screen, I used to do this way back in the day. I did not design this the most responsibly. That's okay. So if we go to our blog post, you see the author, status. That's one that's, I think, pretty important. How are we doing this? I was curious to see how I was handling this. So I just added some padding. Yeah, that's probably what we're going to do. All those guys. Nice. And I went with this approach here. And I was honestly thinking about doing this, something similar to this before, but I kind of like keeping my actions over here. So, cool. So status is going to be important. These are all dummy titles, so it doesn't make as much sense here. All right, let's go back to our TDs. Did I put on the TD? I think I did. Yeah. That's what's going on, not on the TR. That's, I think, what we were trying to do last time and it wasn't working for us. So what are we going to say? Like PY, say like 2. Across the board here. Oop, look at the wrong thing. Yeah, that's a lot nicer. Little white space. Oop, goes a long way. I was trying to do that on this guy. Get rid of that for now. Bring it down. Yeah, that's looking a lot better. And we'll just add some padding on the bottom of these guys as well. Maybe here we'll do too. Maybe a little, I think, is there a 3? Yeah, in Bootstrap there is. I don't know why that's coming through. I thought we uninstalled Bootstrap. Yeah, I think that's, might have been too much. Let me see if we can do 3. That's a little better. Nice. That looks pretty nice to me. And this text feels, well, it's kind of the main point of the page. I think it can be a little larger. Might make it smaller. This is text. Excel, that feels a lot nicer actually. Maybe we'll make this text medium. Yeah, that feels a lot more. Like, we did this really fast last time. I don't know if you guys caught the replay, or which you can look at on YouTube. You should be able to find the link down below. But we did this like super fast last time, so now this is kind of our chance to come in here and tweak some things and see how it looks in a little bit more of a calmer headspace. So we have this published on, and for some reason that text right is not. Okay, we're only doing it here. I read so I think it was a list apart article. And they were talking about like how do you design tables to be really effective, and they actually had really good advice. And one of the ones that I took away was like left align text, right align like dates and stuff. And so I'm kind of thinking about in numbers in particular, which I think is awesome advice. I'm debating whether or not I want to right align that. I'm a little on the fence. I forget what their specific guidance was. But what I do want to do is add the status. That's going to be very important. Ooh. So we'll do that. And we'll grab this guy here. We're not going to do a string limit. Doesn't make sense, but we'll come in here. And yeah, so that's going to give me a 1 if active, and then a 0 if I'm not trying to set it. Equal to 1. Something like that. And I want to test the opposite case here, so let me see here. If I go to our database, posts, that's what I want to open up. There we go. Let me set U to 0. And which one was that? The third one, quit. Interesting. That's not what I wanted. There we go. We'll get there. There we go. So that's not working the way I wanted it to. Because I think we're casting to oh, I wonder if that database thing actually worked. Or do I need to close this first? And then we open it back up. Yeah, it didn't save it for some reason. I'm still learning how to use this part of the editor here. I think we could maybe say edit. There we go. That might be it. That might have been our issue. Alright, so we go back to the... I thought that was going to work. Yeah, that's what's going on here. Cool. So that we just didn't save it. So that's a handy thing. We set this up last time, or not last time, a couple episodes ago. So go look back there if you're like, wow, how are we doing this? That's just a PHP Storm feature that one of you all told me about. So thank you. You learned so much by live streaming. It's just awesome. So we got inactive here, which is good to see. I'm thinking about maybe making that text red. I don't know. Kind of interesting, right? You want to highlight the inactive ones, or do you want to not do that? And so I think in our schema here, let me go post that PHP. We've got published on and published at. And I think published on can be null. So if we go to like post, not factory, table, something like that. Not post tags, yeah, create post table. Yeah, publish on can be nullable, but publish at cannot. So we kind of want to see that as well. Because if it's gonna like, we're gonna set like a timer kind of thing. And I don't know. I might need to give this a little bit more thought. I also honestly don't really schedule my posts. I just kind of post them. So maybe we can actually just get rid of that functionality. It's going to break a lot of tests. Get rid of this guy. All right, let's go for it. So here, let's run our tests. Let me just open up a new one. And that's my, oops. That's new to me. What is going on here? Well, something has changed since the last time I ran my test, which is always super. Oh, that's frustrating. These are all very old. Let's see this guy. Let me try doing running if you could that thing, a couple different things here. All right, let's stop that. So we'll just run composer. Let's say composer update. So I can't even hit my code. All right, so something's gone wrong in my like whole build setup here. Oh boy. How do I put file artisan? How about over here? What is? Why was that not working? Was I in the wrong directory? No, desktop, code, and then we just do get status here. Maybe I was. I think I was in the wrong directory. What's going on here? What's the error? Test can't user can view posts. Ah, that's an interesting bug that we've introduced here because we're truncating. Actually, I wonder if we can get rid of the truncation. Let me see if that will help us because we reduce the text size. I do all of that. Oh, we killed that. Let me just see. That's going to probably work for us. And I don't think we need more statuses or more details or anything like that. Not ideal though. All right, we'll keep it. We'll just update our test, which we're gonna have to do anyway here in a minute. So we're doing like 10 different things. So let me go one thing at a time here. All right, go back to our tests. Let's fix this test. Post tests. User can view posts. And okay, let's just grab this guy. That should hopefully be, we might have to import that. I think we might, yeah. Illuminate. Look like the one. Okay. this guy for the purposes of this. That's what's important. It's limiting it to 40 characters. Because in our, all right, so that's looking for the full thing. For some reason that's not working. Do we use the right version of our string? Let me look here. Go to Laravel docs. Jumping into docs. It's a good. All right, I just need to get here. Use eliminate support string. That's what we have. Okay. That's why DD this. More for my own curiosity. It might just be that we can't nest it together, which I'm thinking. That was a short one. Is that not? Well, now I gotta count, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, none of those are super long. Okay, so we're getting this ellipse here. So it looks like that should be working for us. All right. Let me just try it this way. It's not what I wanted to do. I don't know why it wouldn't work the other way, but. Give that a whirl. All right, that's gonna fix it for us. Odd, but you know, keep on. Let's see here. And now we're gonna get rid of a test because we're gonna remove some data. We have to change a couple different things. Requires a publish at. I'm gonna get rid of this guy. And then we're gonna change our factory. So our database. Let me just check our tags. Yeah, okay, cool. All right, so in our factory, we're not going to have a publish at. And in our, get rid of it in the tests. In our post itself, we can actually get rid of that field. But we still got to get rid of it in the migration, which is here. And I guess that could be nullable. I think that should be okay. All right, let me run this again. Two things fail. So we can create a post, can update a post. And that makes sense because we're requiring it. That's why it's great to have tests. You do these little refactors and you're like, oh, okay, this is where I missed something. Nice. So I think we do. Just do migrate fresh seed. What's going on here? No such file. Submissions. Oh, do we not get rid of that? Oh, it's in a minute. Forgot to get rid of this guy. We haven't migrated in a long time, which is kind of funny. There we go. Cool. All right, so now we've kind of done a lot of things, and I have not committed in a long time, which not ideal, right? And I could describe a lot of this, or we could do a classic whip commit. Nice. So, a lot of pros and cons to whip. I kind of like it though, so I want to do it. My project. So if I was working with other developers, obviously I'd probably think about this a little bit more harder, but for this, we'll do a whip. which stands for work in progress, for those of you who might not be familiar with that. Okay, so we did a lot of that work just to get rid of that possible functionality, because I was over engineering. Let's say we. Not going to blame y'all for my mistakes here. Cool. So we got our posts up. And so we've done some coding here. That's, I think, honestly all we need for our front end. I'm going to put this back on. Do I have an alias for that? Yeah, I guess not. I think you could just do this. Oh, hello. Where do we go? Nice. That's if you ever want to set an alias for yourself, that's all you need to do. You can also go into your configuration, your what's that called? We can go look at it, but I don't want to get too off track here. But you can go and update your files, your .zs. I'm actually using on my Zish, so that would be my .zs src source, something like that. So that's an option. All right, where were we? Give that a refresh. Get out of this guy. Cool. So this is looking pretty close to the mockup, right? It's kind of, there's a little bit more padding on the sides there, but this is also like, that's not responsive, right? So we can kind of leave this as it is. I like this view. Will take me to like the live version of it, and then edit will take me to like actually change it. And I'm not going to put the delete here. I like putting deletes on internal pages because that's like a really destructive action, and so I don't want somebody to just like accidentally click that, and we'll probably need to do some confirmation stuff, so we won't do that just yet. Cool. And maybe I'll do try a little more padding. Let's take a look what happens. Just for me here. So we've got padding 6. What if we try padding 8? Feels like, what if we be padding Y8, or 6 rather. A little bit more like that. I like where that's going. Let's try it. Let's run with that. I do that backwards. Sometimes I mix up my X's and Y's, which I think is a very common thing for folks. I'm looking at the wrong one here. Nice. Let me close some of these. I realize we have like 10 of these. 3 of these open. Very nice. Cool. So now we've kind of got some CSS here that we're going to keep reusing. So now I kind of want to extract this, right? So if we look at our blog post, I can see myself reusing like these cards, like we kind of were going for that card look there. So I'm going to extract some of those to their own kind of component classes. And Tailwind makes that super easy. So let me get back. Where are we here? Let's go to our app.sass. So traditionally, you probably want to make your own partials in Sass, and I think that's a really good approach if you have a huge project. For this, we don't have a huge project, at least not yet. And so until that becomes a problem, I'm going to just kind of put everything in app.sass. Let me see here, adding new utilities. Yeah, so at the end of your file, don't put them at the beginning. Yeah, so we're in the right. There used to be, you could use to, I might have just misread this. I used to think that you could kind of put that in between components and utilities. Maybe that's just for components or something like that. But that is something I think about. Also, plugins are an option here, but I'm not going to do that for now. That's a lot of work for not a lot of payoff here. We're not building like a design system or anything like that. So what is this going to be? This is kind of going to be like an admin card, right? So what do we got going on here? And the nice thing is too much, wrong buttons here. So we're just gonna copy this, and I'm gonna hit add extend, which is a Tailwind helper, and I'm gonna paste those guys in. And then this is gonna be the admin card. Oh, all right, we got an error, which is fine. Complex selectors may not be extended. This is a new one for me. I haven't seen this before. Oh, it's at, I'm sorry, at extend is SAS. I think at apply is the Tailwind. Yeah, there we go. Ooh, mixing up my Tailwind and my SAS there. Okay, so we've got, if we go ahead and inspect this now, what are we looking at here? Admin card, right? But it has all these styles here. And this is like the power of Tailwind, right? This is where it gets really super awesome. It's got everything that we have in our utilities just at this component level. And so if I was to go in and like change what the shadow large looks like in the Tailwind configuration, right? Change it down here. It's going to update here. It's going to stay consistent. And that is the real power and beauty of Tailwind. So that's why I'm a huge fan of it. Because we can prototype real fast down here, and then boom, you're done. And I think we're going to always have an H1 on these guys. Actually, if we have many on a page, I'm going to refactor this to an H2. I mean, it makes sense here, but if we had like multiple of these on a page, we'd want them to be H2s. So just to kind of future-proof it a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and grab this guy, because I think we'll always have a title. We won't always, but if we do. And the really cool thing, I think you can do this where you actually like say this is the class, or you can just kind of copy and paste it here. It makes it so easy. You just boom, copy paste from your HTML, and then you're done. And we can get rid of this. I like some people would say like have a class there, but for me, it's kind of like part of the component, so I'm not gonna worry about it too much. And then we've got this we've got a table here. I could extract a lot of this stuff, but I don't think I'm going to. I might extract some of this link stuff. Let's kind of call it an admin link. We might use this in other places. We're using it twice here, so let's kind of clean this up a little bit. Make it look a little nicer. Oh, so this is interesting. You can't do this because it doesn't parse correctly. What you have to do instead is just kind of do like your normal hover, and then you'd say like add apply text blue 800. The documentation explains that much better than I just did. Like the pseudo classes get a little weird, so that's kind of what's going on there. Admin link, change this here too. And this is a really good example here. This is why I love Tailwind, right? We extracted all the things that were similar between these two elements, right? But we left like the little piece of implementation detail that is like really specific here. Otherwise, we'd like in the old days would have to come up to this like TD and be like, all right, this is like the actions TD, and I'm gonna like nest it down on the first child, or like the last child doesn't get an MR, like a margin right. And so like you were like having these like wrapper classes to try and make things work. And here it's like right here, boom, like I know this little link is going to have a little bit of extra margin, so we have the spacing right, but it's still going to share the styles with the other links. And that's, I think, my biggest and favorite part of working with Tailwind. That little piece right there. So I think really nice example. Cool. And we've kind of extracted, nothing's changed over here, right? Everything looks the same, but we've kind of made this a little bit more reusable for ourselves. I'm debating on extracting more of this like table stuff. And we're going to use more tables, probably. That's like in media, I could see us using a table. Profile, we probably won't use a table, but I could see it. So let's extract that as well. And we'll give it a class though. Let's say like admin table. So maybe target this div, because I guess they're all going to be responsive. I don't know. That doesn't feel right. To me, at least. Go grab these guys. What else do we have here? TR. Alright, so we'll do the T-head stuff. Nice. And that's like as far as I feel comfortable nesting. 3 generally. Rule of thumb. Nice. And for the body, we're going to do it like this. I love working with Tailwind and Sass. It's just, I feel like I'm working with superpowers here. I was writing a lot of vanilla CSS this week. I tweeted about that, and it's very refreshing to be back in Sass. And what were we even doing there? Another PY1. Alrighty. So that should be everything here. Let's go ahead and clean this up. We're going to keep this. And we'll go ahead and grab that guy there. And get rid of this. And I think that's everything, right? Oh, something broke. Something wasn't happy with me. Wonder what's going on. And apply. Cannot be used text medium. I feel like I've run into this before. All right. Oh, does text medium not exist? Font size, base. That's, I think, a change from the old Tailwind to the current Tailwind. Nice. So our admin table looking good. And we cleaned it up, right? There's like way less stuff in here that we have to think about. It's just the nice stuff that is like different, right? The inconsistencies in the design, discrepancies, I should say, that we're worrying about. And this is, I think, a pretty clean template. Alrighty, so we're just gonna go ahead, and honestly, we could refactor this even further to like a Laravel component, because we're kind of gonna use this pattern, but that's a little overkill. Alright, so we're kind of working on posts. We could keep working on posts, or we could kind of do the top level for media. I'm kind of torn on that. But it's an interesting question to have. Let's go ahead and keep working, I think, on our posts here. So let's kind of go to edit posts. And just for some inspiration, we didn't design this, right? So we kind of just did the top level here really fast, but we didn't design how these pages are going to look. So I'm going to look in here. And I'm just pulling from like the Unsplash API, which I thought was kind of fun. And this one, I'm not going to do it like this. I think the same way. Okay, so we're going to have another section in here. Alrighty. Where did we go? So let's go ahead. I'm going to commit here now. Let's see here. Now we can run that lovely alias. Oh, because I didn't. I'm in the other one. There we go. We set it over there, not in this session, so. Can I get out of there for a second? Nice. And we're still working. And we ended up using slugs for this stuff, which is nice. Better for kind of our URL management. if you ask me. So let's see here. We're going to go now to our edit page. So we got our post title in there. Let's grab some of this HTML here. We're not going to have all that stuff. Real nice here. Let's say edit post. I'm going to write partial, right? Post edit. Oh, no, I'm not. I'm went to the wrong one. That's technically show. Interesting. Let's see here. Yeah, there we go. That's interesting. So we were following like her API a little bit more detail, but we in my old one, like I just jumped right into editing, versus in that one, which kind of has this kind of concept of we're going to look at the post in its entirety, which I think is fine. Kind of going on the back and forth on that, honestly. Yeah, maybe we will embed the edit functionality a little bit more. So I guess the question is, do we call it show? Do we call it edit? I would say edit, just because that's more consistent with the conventions. And so these are like the details, like as you can code out your stuff with TDD and everything, but like as you get into the details, you kind of come across this kind of stuff. We'll leave it for now. I don't think we'll refactor that just yet. Okay, so edit blade. And now we want to make sure we're looking at the right one. So we go back to index, admin path, / edit. Oh, I did that in the wrong spot. So now if we come over here, okay, we're seeing the right one. I'm going to keep this convention for now. And like in the off chance, like in the future, I did want that preview. I still have it if I need it. So we'll kind of leave it as it is. All right. Edit post. Edit post. Nice. That might have broken our tests. No, cool. We might not have been checking on that page, but who knows? Okay, so the post title. So what we're going to have here, this is where things are going to start getting interesting, because we're going to start getting into our form build here. So we'll put a div there, and we'll do a form. And what is this going to do? This is going to be patch. I forget what our API said. This is why we write tests. So I'll just go to route. It's web. And so this is we've talked about the pros and cons of this approach here, where you put things in the resources, and that is one of the cons, because you can't like see it very clearly. So we'll go to route lists. Ooh, there we go. We'll get there. Nice. Where are our posts? So we're going to update it. That's a put or a patch. It takes both. What did we say we're going to do though? Maybe we have to go to our tests to really see that. The wrong guy. Can create a post, can update a post. So we're going to do a patch request. Okay, cool. This is nice. So you kind of have like built-in documentation with your tests. You're like, oh, okay, this is the path that I want to go down. So I think we get out of that guy now. All right, so that's going to be a patch. Well, I know you can't put a patch there, so we're going to come back to that. Actually, what am I doing? So that's the method is patch. So technically post. But, all right. Too many things here. All right, we're doing @CSRF because we're going to need that. And the action, where's this going to I think that everything gets named, which is really nice. You use named routes in here. So for instance, we go back here. Where's our post guy? Post patch. So that's called post set update, which is really cool. I forget the convention though for this. Let me go back to our. And oh, that's a quick tip. If you hit your backslash command, it will, or key, it will take you right to the search bar on the Laravel docs. A couple docs do this, but Laravel is good about it. So if we go to our forms, method spoofing, yeah. So the action here, yeah, that's what we're going to want to do first. And that's going to be a patch. Cool. So step one. And then named routes here. Is that working in a blade file? That's what I don't know. Let's try it. And like the nice thing about going with like this approach as opposed to like hard coding that is that I think you'll, if you change it, like the route itself, you should be in good shape here. Missing parameters for routes. Parameters. Oh, we might have to pass. So we go to web, pass the route itself, the post itself, which I think we're passing. It's probably if you step away from a project and then come back to it. Yeah, we're passing the post here. There we go. So because, all right, let's walk through why that was happening. If you're new to this, if we go to this form here, notice how it's going to post to the slug itself, and so it needs that entity in order to generate the slug for itself, because that's part of the route. So that's what was going on there. Nice. So we're going to post to that, and we've got these these hidden fields that are going to help us out. We need CSRF obviously for cross-site scripting. And then this patch is going to help spoof the posts. So we're actually doing a patch request instead of a post request. So that's what's going on there. All right, that took a little setup, but we're making progress now. What are we going to need to do here? So let me go back to our tools window. Oh, how do we do this? Editor tabs, split vertically. That's one thing I like in VS Code. It's so easy to split your tabs here. Alrighty. We're gonna open up posts, and we're going back to. All right, let's put this guy over here. We got a lot of things we're going to want to write, and honestly, post controller is not a bad spot either. So update. We're looking at a few different things here. The slug gets us. All right, so actually, this is probably a better thing to be looking at here. Almost to the bootstrap there. So label, and we'll call this like title. And this will just be a solid input. And we'll do the value because we want to preload these, right? We've got this post title already. We've got this content. It's fresh content. Nice. And we can't see this, but that's because we've got a reset going on with CSS, Tailwind CSS. So maybe we can kind of set this up really fast. Class equals flex call. Kind of sets everything up really nicely for us. Let's see here. I kind of want this to be very similar to how our headers are. So let me see if I can grab this stuff. And then we'll do MB3, like something like that. And let's kind of see what we're working with here. Title. Did we make those bold? Where's that coming from? Oh, that might just be the default. Nice. I don't know. I think that looks nice. And obviously we can optimize this in a minute, but we'll just start by getting all the fields in here, and then we'll style it a little better. And then for here, class equals, let's make it with full to start. Like 300, I think. Padding to x2, py1. Let's say rounded. What's that gonna work for us? How's that looking? Let's try and make that maybe a little bigger, or let's say text. Let's try and do maybe the opposite. Maybe P2 all around. That looked pretty good to me. And what else here? Grab these guys. I guess we're doing XL. Nice. That looks pretty good to me. And it's gonna be long, right? So we want to make sure that we have this be pretty long. That's already like automatically responsive for us, which is just so awesome. That's a lot of spacing there, so we might not be as consistent. And that's okay, we've made these changes. Cool. So we've got ourselves a little field here. And just to make this really easy, I'm going to already extract this because I know. Form input. And I'm not going to do the admin prefix here because I guess we do technically. Maybe I will. I guess let's be consistent with ourselves. Oh, I'm all over the place. All right, we got a label here. And we got the input itself. It's nice because we can come back in here and do like our select and text area styles too, pretty easily. Nice. And that's working real simple for us. So again, just kind of extract those components out when we start seeing a pattern. I know we're about to do like 3 more of these, so obviously there's going to be a pattern. Cool. So now we're going to start getting into image handling, which is pretty cool. Header image. Cool. I know that's not an image field yet. We'll come back to that because I have not. Oh, we've not done that yet. So this will be a slightly different. Be a text area. We'll come back to this because we're going to need to change it up a little bit. And then description, we'll kind of put that up here. Should that also be a text area? Good. It's a good question to ask. Let's kind of do it as an input and we'll come back to it. Son of a gun. All right. We're getting there. And like right now, we're just kind of hard coding in an image itself, which we're gonna do image handling in this, so we're gonna get there. And I'm gonna go ahead and say like MB4. I guess I could have done this. Make sure there's a lot of space in between all of them, and let me get this text area looking a little better. There we go. Nice. And this is tall, obviously. We're going to change this into Markdown here. Do like a Markdown editor. Haven't done that in a while, so I'm interested to see what options are out there. I know Laravel's got like a Markdown parser now. I don't think it used to. I saw them said, or Mohammed Saeed talking about that. He's one of the Laravel contributors, or part of the Laravel core team actually. So him and Taylor are doing all the work, and they just added somebody else. I'm sorry, I forget your name, but they were doing, I think, community, if I recall, versus Mohammed, who's actually coding it, which is awesome. Does a great job. And then we're obviously going to need some sort of a button here. I forget if I have a back button. Yeah, I'm going to cancel. Oh, I forgot tags. We're going to definitely need to do that. And then, yeah, so this is what I'm talking about with like this media down here. My media in my old app is different than media in my current app. I was using that for images. I might do something down here like that. I don't know. These are things. Oh, I forgot about attribution. Attribution? There we go. Sounds better. And then we've got to do the status as well, which will be different as well. All right, cool. So let's see. Alrighty here. I haven't done booleans in a while. So let's see here. We'll call it status. I think what you want to do is wrap them. And a label, if I remember correctly, and input radio, and then we can say I guess that's not true. 100%. No, that's for checkbox. Right? Boy, it has been a minute since I've had to code radio buttons. Let's look. 33. Yeah, we got that right. Value. Right. So let's get value. Equals 1. I'm thinking of a checkbox, actually. That's what's throwing me off here. Getting those mixed up. What's your name? Okay. Getting there. Alrighty. So that's working for us. And how do you select it? I thought it was selected. Checked. do something like post, kind of what we were doing earlier, right? Nothing. Right, and if we go back to our blog, then we have an inactive. Oh, because we redid our database, which is annoying. But all right, just to kind of make sure this is working, we'll go to database, posts. Where did we go? Status. Alrighty. Inactive, edit. Nice, that one's inactive. And if we go to our other guy, that one's active. Cool. Oh, it's working. And we could write more tests for this. I don't love writing interface tests because that changes the most in my opinion, versus the API, which and it's like generally pretty easy to debug and fix versus the actual maybe we'll put these in spans, I think, instead of divs even. Maybe we'll wrap it in a parent div. I don't know. I think you're supposed to put it in labels, but too used to the other keyboard commands. This just might be a little easier for us now. Yeah. What were we saying? What's going on? Take a look at these guys here. Yeah, because I think it automatically does that like alignment for us. And flex, for some reason, it's not being so cooperative. So what do we say, like M? Block. We do like item center. Why is that so small? Let's say it with it feels really small to me. And I guess the other advantage is that with the label, you can actually do that selecting. Let's go back to that. Let's go back to it. And we'll fix some things here in our CSS. Like that's what I wanted to avoid, but we can change that pretty quickly. By just making it a little bit more specific. Where are we at? There we go. So I thought that was going to change it, but at the very least, we're back to here. Where'd my friend go? Here we are. Okay. What do we do? Inline. I see what's going on here. Because we're getting these styles here, so we'll go same route. There we go. That's what was going on. And maybe we'll add like a special class here. And then radio. kind of getting away from our utility classes here a little bit, but let's say MR. Let's get a little space there. Okay. We can make it its own class, but I want to keep it here. I kind of want it to be used within that context otherwise. I don't know. We'd always tweak that if we want. All right, so we've got that scaffolded out. Let me see here. Let me do flex now. What did we say they were? Large? XL? I hate when I do that. Gotta hit enter, otherwise it'll persist. Alright, I think we got most of them. So we could say text XL. I'm going to say input and apply MR2 just so we have that spacing there. We'll kind of go from there. Get some better alignment, hopefully. I don't know why these are like. It's not like perfect. It's probably just like a browser thing. Which is frustrating. Like see how the box is not perfect? And so that's like I think that's what does it. Which is frustrating. You'd have to even do that. Get your alignment the way you want it. We could obviously style these. I think what's this? Adam Wadden is actually working on the custom form package for Tailwind, which is pretty nice. But for right now, we'll leave it like this. And we put the status. I'm thinking we put the header image. I don't know. I'm debating about putting these on the same line, so make it a little tighter. And move the description maybe up to the title. These are good questions. Good questions to be asking ourselves. Let's just kind of get it to a spot, and then we'll come back to it. You can always iterate a little bit more, which is really exciting. Let's add some buttons here. So we're going to have to go and say, one's going to be a submit button, and one's going to be a link. And I just like having a link, just to help. Let's say save. And, oh, that's not what I wanted to do. And we can say posts dot index, right? Is that what we're looking for? Yeah. So that will take us back to post, and then save will actually do the button. And maybe instead of back, we do say cancel. Make it feel a little bit more like a form. All right, let's go ahead and add some classes here. We're going to make this guy XL. Background primary, rounded, add the shadow to it. I just want to do large. I kind of like that stripe style shadow, so we'll go ahead and do that. And then, oh, that's a text white. I think we'll look at that in a second. Do I not have a background primary? No. Oh, I haven't added my fonts in yet. I mean, my colors in yet. I gotta think about that. Kind of override them. Nice. We kind of do our padding now. So we can say px 2. Hi, welcome. Oh, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Oh, we're on the wrong. There we go. Oh, I did the backwards. There we go. That looks like a nice save button. And then our cancel button, which is really a link. We'll kind of style that a little bit differently. But similarly. So actually, we just do admin link, I think, and just kind of say text XL, and then I can't write in the chat without following you, so it's not a free choice. That's weird. For some folks you can. I don't have that set up in the settings, so, and other people have said that. I went to the settings and tried to fix that. I don't know why that's doing that. Let me look again and see if I can change it. Yeah, followers only mode is off. So yeah, that's off. Like, I can screenshot it for you guys. Down here. Yeah, that's off. So like, I'm very confused about why it's doing this. Yeah, everything's off. Sorry. I'll try and jump into that a little bit more, because that's frustrating. I want everybody to be able to talk and hang out with us. Let's see here. Let's see, what were we talking about? The buttons. Yeah, it's one of those things. So we're gonna make this text red. I think 600. Right. I wonder if that's not gonna cooperate, because we. Yeah, so this is where the cascade comes in. I thought that would. So that's why I was confused in the docs. Let me go back to those docs, because we're literally just looking at this. Adding new utilities. Any custom utilities. Yeah. So I think we actually want to change this a little bit. So these component classes we do want to put after components. Nope. And not after utilities. Oh, that's annoying. I wonder why that does that. So that way we can still use utilities override it. And I actually might have just, thinking about that, saying that out loud, I might have been looking in the wrong spot a second ago. Alrighty. Because that lets us like use utilities to overwrite other things. So extracting component, don't rely, create a template partial. What? Okay. See, yeah, okay, so this is literally what we just ran into. That's what I was confused when we were looking at the other spot. I was just looking in the wrong spot. So this should, yeah, be red now because of the cascade, right? We want those component classes above our utilities, so that way the utilities can overwrite them, so we can use them contextually here. That's what's going on. And where'd our edit go? Alrighty. And we'll do hover like text red 700. And we'll go ahead and do like margin right 4. Nice. So we've got a cancel button. We've got a save button. All I gotta do hover on that guy. We'll just make it simple. Hover BG glue 700, and we'll do transition small. Nice. So we got some buttons here, and I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can't put them in the middle. I kind of like them in the, like some folks like them on the left or the, and oh, we lost some other styles here. What happened? I must have that in the wrong spot. There you go. Okay. I was like, background's different. I like it here. Other folks might like it. I've seen like people like spread them out or kind of keeping them in different spots. I think this is nice. Looks good on mobile, so that's just what I'm going to roll with. I'm going to put a little bit more space between them though, because I don't want to fat finger them on accident. I need to try doubling that. Something like that. That's why people separate them, so that way you don't accidentally you're making a really conscious choice. I see the pros and the cons in that, but there's also you're doing your actions; they're all going to be in the same spot. Actually, now that I talked that out, let's go ahead and try that. Oh, not what I wanted. So let's say flex, and then justify between. There we go. So now I've got to really say I'm going to do, I'm going to really can't save this. I'm really going to cancel this. And there's also like a good argument for like what side you put them on. I've seen people say it's got to be on the right side, it's got to be on the left side. Test it with your users. I like the left side for me, so that's where I'm going to put it. But that is, there's all sorts of nuances there. But for the most part, this is kind of all we need to edit our post here. So let me see if this will work. So we just kind of get rid of this guy there. Nice. And we come back to the top there because we already did our API, right? Or our endpoints. And so this is all should be working, and we've tested it. So it all should be working. Yeah, nice. And let me test this guy. Sometimes that inactive one doesn't like to cooperate as nicely as I'd hope. And we're going to fix that in a second here. Nice. All right. So that's all super, super nice. Cool. So we can edit our posts already. We've basically got our CMS built. We're just kind of doing the front end. Obviously, we've got some stuff here with like the image handling and how we're going to handle that. I'm like debating different ways to do it. I think what we're going to do is I actually might leave this as a link here, but we're going to build that sort of media library. Not the problem here is that media is we're conflating the two ideas here. But where did that go? Something like this. And then we can grab the URL and paste it in. And so images are kind of handled in one spot, and then that should be the end of that. With my old blog, I kind of had like this header kind of embedded here. And that was nice, but it's confusing sometimes. And so I'm just going to kind of keep my images separate from my actual models themselves. And then we do have to do this relationship here, which is going to be interesting. I guess we could do it that way. We could do it other ways. I like that approach. I forget what this plugin is, but we'll figure that out. Cool. Like already it's looking a lot nicer. It's looking cleaner. I don't know about nicer, but it's definitely cleaner. And let's come in here. So we kind of got this all set up here. Is there anything else that I need to add? All right, we need to do this markdown business. So we got a couple of different things to think about here. But what to do next? What did I say? Okay, we're going to leave that header image like so. So let's go ahead. Oh, that's what I was going to do. Post controller here. So on update, we're going to redirect back to And that's going to break our tests. I'm sure. Yep. And because we're going to a different section here. And, oh, we're right here already. Back to green. Awesome. So now we can commit. That's good. It's good to like kind of like you might do some implement, like once you have your endpoints kind of set up, you might like go through the process of adding something to the interface or changing something, and then all of a sudden you're like, you know what, maybe I do want to tweak this, or I do want to change this a little bit more. And so it's okay to go back and fix your tests. I think people kind of get hung up on like, oh, this was set in stone. They're fluid like the rest of your project is. So let's say added posts, edit form. We have 2 commits. Alrighty, let's get this markdown business working, and that one might take us to the end of today. So let's see here. Laravel markdown field, something like that. So Laravel Nova is awesome, but they've got a markdown field implementation. I think this one is pretty. It's got some good stars here. When was the last? Ooh, last commit was about 8 months ago. I think I've used this in the past. So that's an option. Definitely an option we can go for. Kind of want to look at the Laravel Nova docs and see if they have some guidance for us. Markdown field. I think I've got to know. I forget what they use. They're using Vue.js though, so it's a little different. This is a little dated. Oh, nice. Good for them. What are we looking at? Best way, Laracast. Oh, I haven't seen the forum in a long time. This is awesome. Let's see here. Let's see. So this is like how to render Markdown, but I want to write Markdown. This looks like too much. October, that's cool. That's what we were just looking at, right? Yeah. Alrighty. Let's see here. That would be cool if that was part of the, became part of whatchamacall, HTML. Like here's Markdown, like text area of Markdown. And all right, I'm gonna look at that, but I'm go to my tools here, and we're going to say past year. All right. Let's look. So this is Keystone.js here. This looks like something bigger than what I wanted. All right, that's not what I know. That's not great. We're going to go through. Alrighty. Alright, that's kind of what we're looking for. This does not have a lot of stars on it. Maybe we are going to use this guy. But I think this is just for showing Markdown. Rendering Markdown. Let's see if somebody comes in. No. Yeah, I just want to use like this illuminate Markdown to like show it. I forget what package I used for this last time. Let me see if there's like a Vue.js. Version of this. Markdown loader. Alrighty. Is this like a solved problem and I just am missing something very glaringly obvious, or I hope not. View Markdown editor. Maybe that's what I need to search for. Let me see here. I forget what I used for my last project. That's probably what I want to use again for this project. This looks kind of what we're looking at here. Buy now. What does that mean? Whoa. That's way too much. Let me see if I can look at the Laravel. thought I could access the source. I think I do have access, but I'm probably not allowed to stream it. I guess we'll do JavaScript here. Let's save view. I think this was it. Yeah, I think honestly this was the one I used, and it has not been updated in 3 years, which is terrifying. But also, it worked really well. Yeah, I think this was the one I used. Let me see if anybody is like maintaining a fork or something. Yeah, it's head. Easy MD. Alrighty, what is that guy? Oop. What's this? Is this just a better fork of it? Yeah. This looks like a better way for us to do this. Okay. Let me just test this before I install it. Alrighty. Oh, let me just run git status too. I think we just committed. Yeah, okay, cool. If I want to hit nah or something like that. And my text area, we can do that. Alrighty. What are we working with here? No element was found. That is odd. Let me get back to the code here. Bring this guy over. Like, I'm pretty sure that's there. Maybe we're putting this guy somewhere else. Maybe like the bottom. There we go. Wow, that's really nice. see here. These buttons don't seem to work. In fact, nothing seems to work. Let me... Oh, okay. I see. We're gonna have to tweak this, but obviously this won't work everywhere. What is going on here? What is this? I feel like we're just so close, but something's just not working here. All right, what's going on here? Well, it's still not working. Oh. There's that problem solved. What were those other... Let's see if anyone's got any issues. It's weird. It's like not registering any of my keyboard inputs. And I think that is super frustrating. Obviously. I'll try the demo here. Yeah. All right, let me try this guy here. And I don't need the guy here, so let me try turning that off. Oh, I was hoping this was going to be our silver bullet here. Super strange. Let me try and like not give it anything. I don't know. Huh. That is frustrating. Oh well. I'm gonna have to just probably find another one, which is really the worst. Like autosave. Let's try getting rid of what these guys mean here. Tabs, line wrapping, and height. Shortcuts, show icons. Turn off the spell checker here. The last thing I can think to try is actually like installing the package, but that is very frustrating here. Oh, alrighty. So where were we here? So we've kind of got the simple MDE. Good spell. Everyone is saying use this one, which is really less than ideal. Alright, let's open this guy back up. See if there are any super popular forks. Oh, I was hoping that was going to be easier to look at. Like, what if I just picked one at random here? Yeah, who knows? I guess I could fork it and join all these folks, but that just doesn't seem feasible. Okay, it's on view. Ooh, this is not in my language, but code I speak. So let's see here. This is just view. Not the worst thing in the world. Alrighty. This looks like a package. Anyway, so this is the fun part of development, where you have to just search for things forever and hopefully find them. But that is our 2 hours right there. So sadly, we spent a lot of time kind of looking around for stuff. I'm going to just go ahead and get rid of that. Get that refresh. That's for folks who are curious. That's just a little git reset. So if I do some work and I'm like, I don't want that, I can go back. But we did do a lot. We've kind of got our front end starting to come together here. Got this blog post looking really nice. We can edit it, no problem. I guess we should add a button for deleting a post. Maybe we'll do that real fast. If I go to PHP Storm here, add a button. Make this a little larger. And where are we going to put this guy? Probably here. And we'll just say button. That's way too big. What do we want to do here? Flex. No grow, right? Where are those Tailwind docs? Oh, so they changed that? Flex grows 0. I see. That makes sense, I guess. I was hoping that was gonna work for us here. it's this? Oh, probably so. That makes sense. Okay. Right? Is that what we were doing here? 8. Why did that fail now? Hey, thank you for the follow. Hello, hello, welcome. Let's see, why is that not overwriting? Oh, because we turn watch? Yes, we turned our watch off. Yeah, we gotta come over here. Let's take a peek. That makes a lot more sense, doesn't it? Alrighty. Oh, I thought I was going to... I think that's the hardest part about coding. It's you think you're going to do something, and then it's like, oh, this is a rabbit hole. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you liked it. That was an older version of Tailwind, but and Laravel, I guess. But glad it was useful for you. So awesome. Thank you for that. I don't know what's going on here. But it should override this. Alright, so clearly that's not happening. Alright, that's on the right, we're on the right track at least. This is like the, I don't know why that would happen though. With the specificity. Yeah, because we bring that to 0, it's going to be fine. But for some reason, this utility is not cascading like it should. Did Tailwind change a lot compared to its 1.0 version? Not in terms of like philosophically or conceptually, but like little details have changed in terms of like the API and stuff. But they've got a really good upgrade guide if you're curious. We were just looking at that a second ago. And so they will walk you through all the little changes that they've made, but it is pretty good. I'd say so. So if you're familiar with it, it's not the end of the world. I think you'll be able to migrate over pretty quickly. That's frustrating. Not quite sure why that's happening here. Let's go back to localhost. Not that there would be a difference here, but just from my brain. Alrighty. Well, that's something I think for another day. Because I need to hop off now. But thank you everybody for tuning in. It's been a wonderful time spending our Saturday mornings together. I hope that was interesting. We did a lot with Tailwind and Laravel today, so always pretty fun if you ask me. So enjoy the rest of your weekend. On next Wednesday, we are going to do some portfolio reviews. So on Wednesdays, I look at folks' portfolios and try and help them just take them to that next level. So if you'd like me to do that, hit me up on Twitter or anywhere else, and I will hopefully be able to do that for you. So have a wonderful rest of your weekend and your Saturday, and we'll see you next time.